Hi, it's Gary. Welcome to today's video. Today I'm going to do something a little bit different. What I thought I'd do, I'm always on about the pens I've got inked up. They sit in this case, and also my ADC pens for the month, they sit in this case. And there's quite a few of them. There we go. Just to give you an idea, what I thought I'd do, I'm actually going to write with each of these pens. We'll just do the pen name and we'll do the ink that's in it, just to see really how they all write. Now, one of the things I'm deliberately not going to do, I'm not going to test write with any of these. So some of these have been sat in there for a few weeks. What's going to be interesting, a little bit of an experiment. Which ones work, which ones don't. I'm really looking forward to that. So join me now, down on the table, we'll jump on in and we'll start writing. Here we are down on the table. Paper I'm going to be using for this, for my inked pens in July of 2023. This is Rhodia paper. It's an A4 notebook. I don't often use Rhodia paper, so I thought let's use something different in the video. So what we're going to be doing is just quickly, I'm not going to talk about the pens really, I'm just going to write with them. Be interested to see what you think about this style of video, if it's something you'd be interested in more often. So this isn't a list of the pens I'm using. They'll be included in here. This is all the pens that are currently inked up that I've got. So the first one is a Jinhao 35. So this one doesn't write. It's been in my bag a few weeks without being used. Might be that there's no ink in it. This is going to be one of the fun things because I'm going to have a massive number of pens to clean out at the end. So there was no ink in the first one. How do we go with the second one? This is a Jinhao. This one writes Jinhao 992 with a fine nib, and the ink that we've got in here is Robert Oster Cafe Crema. As I say, today's video, be interested to see how many pens that come out that don't actually write. Next pen is a Jinhao 85. So we've got here Jinhao 85 with a Fude nib. The ink by Diamine. I'm going to write a slightly different angle to show the difference. Diamine Ultimark. So depending on how you hold the pen, the angle, you get a different line out of it. Next up, staying with the Jinhao theme, this is a Jinhao 51A. This has got a hooded nib. So we've got Jinhao 51A. I'm not calling it fine, it might be extra fine. And the ink in here is by Diamine. And it's Ox Blood. I know it should really be a blue ink in here, but I was doing a comparison with another pen, so that's why it's got this Ox Blood. So I was using the same ink in both. Next, we're going to swap manufacturers. Not a lot of ink left. There is a little bit, you can see that going around. This is a Pen BBS 494. So we've got here Pen BBS 494. Again, fine nibbed, and the ink by Robert Oster and it's a Rubin. Another different manufacturer. This is a Wingsun 3013. This is a vacuum filling pen. So we've got here Wingsun 3013. Fine nib again. The ink in here is Herbin Eclat de Saphir. Oh, it's De Saphir, isn't it? Do you know, I know these are all cheap pens that I'm fetching out at the moment, but I love using all of them. So we're going from there and we're going to now jump to Parker. So this is made in the UK. So this is a Parker Jotter. It's got a double broad nib on it. The ink is by Pure Pens. And it's Celtic Sea. Dirt cheap pen, very light pen. We now keep going. So we've got next from Kaidaloo, a Kaidaloo 316. This is the actual colour is called Aloe. Not sure how well this will go. It's been in there for ages and it's not being used. Yeah, you can see there we've got nothing coming out. Let's check the converter. See, this is a problem. I put the pens in there usually with very little ink, and I think because I use them so little, they dry out. So that's another one. Goes into the cleaning pile. It's like I might have a lot of pens to clean today. So we go on with the Wing Sung, the Wing Sung 601. Again, it's fine nib. It's one of those hidden nibs. In here is Diamine Oxblood. This is the pen I was comparing against the Jinhao 51A. Feels a little bit stabby when I'm writing with this one. Moving forward, got another pen BBS pen. This is the 308. So 308. Again, it's a fine nib. The ink is by Cult Pens, made for them by Diamine. And I love the name. It's Deep, Dark, Green. And it is what it says. It's a nice, really dark green colour. Next, we'll jump into Germany for a pen. The Kaweco Sport. This is like a transparent white colour. In here, I've got, just to show you, I've got a Kaweco cartridge in there. This one is a pen, I'm thinking about eyedropper in it. It's a pocket pen, need to use this posted. Just going to give it a bit of a shake because there's a shimmer ink in here. So we've got a Kaweco Sport. The nib is a 1.1 stub. And the ink is by Diamine. It's Yuletide. One of the Inkvent inks. Not sure if we'll see it just yet. Let's give it a try. Yeah, you can see, hopefully. I can certainly see it. Hopefully it gets caught on the camera. Got a nice, like a coppery sheen there to that. So moving on, we've got a Moonman pen. This is the blue version. On here I've got, is this the bottle nib? Yeah, this is the bottle nib. Oh, is it? Let me just double check. No, this one's a Moonman nib. I've got multiples of these pens and they've all got different nibs in them. So this is a Moonman, bit of a hard start there. Or Mahjong, it was Moonman when I bought it. M800, fine nib. Wonder if this is getting low on ink. No, there seems to be plenty of ink in that. Well, it right now after I've tapped it a couple of times. Let me just prime the feed on this. Yep, that's another one out of ink. I've pushed that plunger all the way down to the bottom and it's still not writing. So that's another one. This is actually quite a good video because I'm getting loads of pens to clear out. Let me move my bit of kitchen roll. So what have we got next? We've got a Fullywhen 017. So here we go. Pretty pen, very bright coloured pen this. I know there's a little bit of ink in here. Fullywhen 017. This has got a medium nib. The ink by Diamine. And it's Bliss. I think this is one where I kept a little bit of ink here. There's a little teeny bit of ink to let me do this video. But this, it's actually going over now onto the clean pile. What have we got next? Hondian. First time we're seeing a pen by this manufacturer. This is the N8. This is a cartridge. Is this a cartridge version? I can never remember. Yeah, this is the cartridge version. I've got the N7. Looks very, very similar. Different colour, obviously. But that's a piston filler. So this is a Hondian N8. Medium nib. And in here, let me check my notes, is Dominant Industry. Lungo. Now you might be saying to yourself, Gary, why have you got so many pens inked up? Well, obviously, because I do the videos that I do, I create a whole load of content each month. Each week I'm filming 3 pen videos. So because of that, I end up with a lot of inked up pens. And it's a little thing I need to get out of the habit. I just don't like throwing ink down the sink, so I usually leave them in my case inked up. And I do use them bit by bit, but then I end up, like we're seeing today, trying to find a pen to use, and there's loads of them, but they've all got next to no ink, either evaporated or I'd written them out and not realised and put it back in the case. So that's where doing something like this, I do these quite often, usually once a month. So doing this today is the same as what I would normally do, but I'm just doing it on video. If you'd like me to do this on video every month, I'm more than happy to, but please drop a comment down below. Let me know, is it something you want to see more of? So the next pen is a TWSBI Eco. And this has got, I think it's a fine nib. Yep, fine. Love the Ecos. I've got 3 of them. That's why I needed to check what the nib was. They've all got different nibs. I love the demonstrator nature of it, especially when you've got this nice, bright, gorgeous orange ink in there. So the ink is by Robert Oster. And it's called Orange. Nice, plain, simple name. Just dropping in to interrupt your regular programming. Would you like to help support the channel? If so, please consider joining as a member. As a member, you'll get early access to my videos. I normally upload them a couple of days before they go out, and as soon as they're uploaded, they'll be released to members. There'll also be a shout out at the end of the videos, and then as we get the members coming in, we'll actually chat among ourselves and work out what other perks, what other things you'd like me to add in. Would you like maybe a monthly live chat just for members? All down to us. So please, if you can, consider joining the channel. A link will be in the description down below. Okay, what's the next pen? So the next pen is by Pen BBS, and it's the Pen BBS 487. This is the magnetic filling version. Never been able to get the magnet to work. What I find with this, at the moment it's fine. I occasionally get a little bit of ink in the cap. It does seem to seal the nib unit away. There seems to be a bit of a liner in there. So the magnetic filler I can never get to work. So what I do is I unscrew the section and I fill it with a blunt nose syringe. So this is Pen BBS 487. The nib is fine, but I think it's a nice, generous fine. And the ink in here is by Pilot, Iroshizuku, Momiji. Nice. I want to call it red. It's not red. It's like a very dark pink ink. Next up, by Asvine, is the Asvine V169. This is the vacuum filling pen. Love this blue material. The body, this metal body, makes the pen feel heavy. So I've got an Asvine V169 with a medium 169, V169 with a medium nib. The ink, it's by Herbin, and Diablo Menth. Diablo Menth. Quite appealing for me. I normally go for a lot of darker inks, but this one's quite interesting. Might be worth actually doing a comparison of this ink with Diamine Bliss. Slightly similar in terms of tone. Next up, we've got another Moonman or Majohn M800, this time in the amber colour. The nib on here, this one is the Bock nib, this is a Bock fine nib. So we've got Moonman. Let's see if we have any better luck with this one. M800 with a fine nib. And the ink is by Diamine. And it's ochre. Nice pale brown ink. Often see a lot of shading with this ink. Moving forward, we've got another TWSBI, this time the TWSBI Diamond 580. I've got to be honest, of all the TWSBI pens, this one's my favourite. I love the faceting on the body. There you can see that as I turn it. And I think it's just a little bit heavier, a little bit bigger than what the Eco is. So we've got a TWSBI Diamond 580. Broad nib. I bought this with a fine nib, but you can actually get screw-in units for different nibs for TWSBI, so I swapped it for a broad. The ink is by De Atramentis, and it's called Cherry. And no, I'm not going to go and smell it. When you smell the bottle, it does smell like cherry. I think you get that a little bit after you first write with it, but not something I want to experiment. You'd look a bit weird if you were in a meeting and you're going on sniffing your paper, wouldn't you? So what have we got next? The next pen by Monteverde. Very heavy pen, this one. This is the Ritma olive colour pen. One of the things I find with this, you might have seen there, the cap pulls off, but I try to twist it and it starts to unscrew the section from the body. So we've got here a Monteverde Ritma. This is where you'll find with my pens, I'm now moving towards broader pens. As my tastes have evolved, I do seem to have evolved into liking broad pens. So Monteverde Ritma, broad, and the ink in here is by Diamine. It's called Mistletoe. Nice Christmassy type ink, nice green ink. Right, I'm running out of room. Let me just move this up. I've just got to move some stuff around on my desk. I have a preview screen which is stopping me from moving the paper up. So hopefully there we've got now all the bottom of the page. So that was the Monteverde Ritma. Next up is a Narwhal pen. This is the Narwhal Schuylkill. The nib on here is a Narwhal medium nib. I like this. This is Paul Peter Navy. So Narwhal, Narvalur, Schuylkill, medium nib. In here we've got a Noodler's ink. First time this brand has appeared. Noodler's Navajo Turquoise. I believe it's been renamed, but the bottle I've got is called Navajo Turquoise. Really like this colour. It's a colour I don't use often enough, I've got to be honest. So now we're jumping a little bit. We're jumping from sub 100 Aussie dollars to over 100 Aussie dollar pens. So first one here, we've got an Opus 88 Colaro. Japanese eyedropper. So to fill it, I have to take the section off and then use an eyedropper. I use a blunt nose syringe to put the ink in here. It's got a shut-off valve. At the moment, I've got that valve open because I'm writing with it, but you can shut that off. So we've got here an Opus 88 Colaro, broad nibbed. In here we've got Diamine, it's Jack Frost. This was from the first Inkvent calendar. It's got a nice red sheen to it. Hopefully I can catch that as it's drying. Certainly on Colora you can see a lot of that red coming through. So the next pen is by Conklin. It's a Conklin Durograph. Love the colour of this pen. Really nice. Medium nib on here, Conklin nib. So we've got here a Conklin, very smooth writer, Durograph. The ink in here is by Pure Pens, made for them by Diamine, and it's called John Frost. Very different coloured ink, isn't it? So John Frost, part of the Chartist movement, which is what this, there's a series of inks by Pure Pens called the Chartist one to celebrate that. Now, I've just had a little bit of an issue. My main audio stopped recording just after I'd done the Coloro. So the Durograph, unfortunately, I'm going to have jumped down and I'll use the audio that I captured from my backup device. So that'll be a little bit on the rough side. But anyway, We've looked at the gyrograph. Didn't put there some medium. Next pen is by Platypus Pens. This is a 3D printed pen. This is the Model 10. So we've got Platypus. It's a Model 10. Broad nibbed. The ink in here is by Diamine. And it's e.l.f. Nice, gorgeous green ink. Next up is the big boy pen. This is the Ranga Model 5. Massive pen. Just look at the sides of this pen. It writes really nicely. So this is a Ranga. Such a comfortable pen to use, this. Model 5. Got broad nib. It's a broad Ranga nib. The ink, also Diamine e.l.f. Don't look very different, do they, between the two pens, which is good to see. We're staying with Ranga, and we're going to move to the Ranga Santa. This was, I'm not sure if it was a one-off special pen, but it was advertised start of December of last year, and when I saw it, I just had to get it. Got a Yoho nib on this one. This is a Ranga Santa. Santa. 1.1 nib. The ink, Diamine. Spiced apple. Not sure, I think this one might be getting a little bit low on ink now. Yeah, I think I've already primed the feed once to get it to write. So I think another one, maybe not getting cleaned out today, but certainly be getting cleaned out quite shortly. Moving to a smaller pen, we've gone from two fairly big pens to this small one. This is a Pelikan, and it's a Pelikan M205 steel nibbed version. So it looks just about usable. We'll post, so I'm going to use this posted. So this is a Pelikan M205 with, let me just double check, broad nib. The ink in here by Diamine. I do like Diamine inks, and it's royal blue. I think it's a really nice match for the body. Okay, staying over in Europe, this time Italy. This is a Visconti pen. This is the cheapest Visconti pen I could find. This is the Prise. So we've got a Visconti. Prise. I know. Red ink in a blue pen. My wife is never happy when I do that. The ink by Diamine. And it's Red Dragon. Very similar base tone to what we see with Diamine Spiced Apple. And I do have a video to record, might not be for about another month or 6 weeks, to compare the two. To do that comparison, I want to get Red Dragon in this Santa so I can use the same pen to compare them. Next up, we've got one of my prettiest pens. Here we go. This is made by Just Turnings. That's a hand maker here. No, it doesn't make hands, he makes pens. It's a handmade pen made by a maker based in Brisbane here in Australia. The actual material, this is Brooks Blanks and it's Golden Blue Jay. Very nice pen. Yoho nib in there. So we've got Just Turnings. And Solidus. Broad nib. The ink is by Robert Oster. Tranquility. Absolutely love this pen. I love the colours. Just look at that as I turn this one around. What I'm going to do, I'm going to leave this little space at the bottom. So here's page 1. I'm going to turn over. I'm going to use the back of the page and we'll carry on. So after turning over, we've got here a pen by Benu. This is the Benu Talisman in Dragon's Blood. So we've got Bennu Talisman. Broad nibbed. The ink, Diamine, Garland. This is like a teal ink with a red sheen, and also occasionally it comes through with a blue shimmer. You know, as it's drying, we can start to see some of that sheen. I don't often see much of the shimmer though in it. Next up, Pilot E95S. First gold nib of the day. This is a pen, again, pocketish, designed to be used posted. Unposted, bit on the short side. Posted, very nice fit. 14 karat gold nib. So we've got a Pilot E95S. It's a medium nib, and as I said, it's 14 karat gold. The ink, Diamine, Pick Me Up. Gorgeous ink. So after looking at the Just Turnings Enceladus, we've got another pretty pen to look at. This time, it's the Narwhal. This is, well, it's actually called the 365. It's in the Nautilus shape. Got a proper ink window, not very big, but just about usable. Again, it's a Jonathan Brutz material. It's primary manipulation 3.5. So we've got here, oh, the nib on here I've swapped. This is a Yoho nib, so by Goulet pens, and it's a broad. So we've got here a Narwhal. Gorgeous, juicy nib this. I'm going to call it the Nautilus. Nautilus, can't spell. Broad nibbed. The ink that we've got in here is by Cult Pens, again made by Diamine. Little Pip. I believe you can buy the Diamine version, which is called Patrick. Dark purple ink, got a gorgeous sheen to it. The sheen may not come through, but you just about see it starting there on the Narvler, that gold sheen. Getting near the end now. Up next, we've got a Diplomat Aero German pen. Really nice pen, this. Again, one of the issues, the cap pulls off. I do find that it's easy to start twisting and take the body off the section. So I've got here a Diplomat Aero, broad nibbed, and the ink in here is Pure Pens, St. George's Cross. Gorgeous red ink. Next up, another gold nibbed pen now. This is, I believe it's an 18 karat gold nib. This is the Waterman Karen in Marine Amber. Similar to that E95S, it's got these inlaid nib. So we've got here a Waterman Karen. It's medium and it's 18 karat gold. The ink in here is by Diamine. It's actually Oxblood. I do think this is a really nice match. I think the ink goes really well with that body. Another Visconti pen. This time we've got the Visconti Van Gogh steel nibbed pen. This is the Portrait in Blue with really, really nice colouring. I like the way the body is faceted. Hopefully the light's catching on them facets now as I turn it. Feels a little bit short. You can post it. I don't want to end up scratching the material. So this is a Visconti Van Gogh broad nibbed. The ink in here is by Diamine and it's Aqua Lagoon, nice turquoisey ink. Again, it's another ink I think goes well with the pen body. And the lucky last pen for this month, the Leonardo Memento Zero Grande. This is dark Hawaii. Just look at this colouring, really pretty. One thing I do wish this had, I wish it had an ink window. So we've got here a Leonardo Memento Zero Grande Quite a long name, isn't it? With a medium nib. I'm going to go on to the next line. The ink is by Dominant Industry. And it's Winterwood. I know it's unusual. It's a very dark brown ink. Blue pen, or mainly blue, but there are hints of brown in the pen. So that's why I think I can get away with it. This ink, I say it's dark brown. I do think it has hints of like a green in it as well, which is why I think where they get Winterwood from. Very nice. Can we just, let's just quickly look back up at that Narvala Nautilus. You can see there the gold sheen now coming through, really pretty. So they're the pens that I've got inked up at the moment. As I've said already, I do this every month. I write out with all my pens. That's how I do usually find out where I've got a pen that's empty. As we saw, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4 of them come up today as being empty. If you'd like to see me do this every month, I'm more than happy to do it. Just drop a comment down below. Let me know your thoughts on it. Would you like to see more like it? Would you like to see something similar? Be really interested in your comments. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. Please hit the thumbs up button. Every time you like, every time you comment, just helps with the YouTube algorithm. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel so that you can get new videos as I release them. I'll talk to you again soon.